What's up, everybody? Just want to welcome you guys back to episode 4 of Talking That Yeah. And if you're joining in, this is our fourth episode. That means you've been with us for over a month now, and
Mm-hmm.
you've been part of the cast, man. So, really want to welcome you guys back to another episode. Without further ado, let's get it going. First off, we're going to be talking about Tulane football. The Green Wave is 7-1, coming off two big wins: a win at home for homecoming versus North Texas, and a win against Rice down in Houston. Both wins were shootouts, which I'm not
Very
very
close.
excited about. Not very excited about, but however, a win is a win. 1-0 is 1-0.
Yep. No, yeah, for sure. It's hard to every game, every time you win, it's a good win. It's hard to win college football if you ever play college football or a fan of college football. It's always wins are hard to come by, so you gotta take it one game at a time, and 1-0 is great going into the next week. So
Most definitely, man. 1-0 is always the end goal. But me just being a fan now, not being a player, they're getting into that last quarter of the season, where shootouts can flip and turn, and you don't want to find yourself being in a close game with certain opponents this late in the season because the stakes are high. They're battling to stay undefeated as conference play and get another conference championship, and all the while trying to make a New Year's Six bowl. While you got teams like Air Force,
Air Force.
UNLV, Fresno State in other conferences that's battling and battling for that New Year's Six spot. So I just feel like the stakes are higher. I have no doubt in this team. My confidence in this team is an all-time high, but I just feel like they got to clean some stuff up to get those big time wins and not make things as close.
Yeah, they kind of scare me a little bit when second half, man. Both of these games back to back, they kind of scare me second half when teams come back on them a little bit, but they always stay strong and pull through, which that's what Tulane is what that's the culture there. So
Most definitely. And I also just want to give a shout out right now to Makai Hughes. He has been somebody this season that, I think this last game was his fourth game with 100 plus rushing yards. I always knew that kid was going to be bright. I told him when he first got to campus the way that he doesn't say a word, but just works, works,
yeah,
works. That's why I had him on my team for the great surge. And I was talking to him the other day in the locker room, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Nick, you really believed in me." And I was like, "Man, I just seen it in you, that workhorse mentality. Don't really talk a lot, but he get the job done." And he's been really, picking up the hay from, where Tajay did things last year and really just been that back they can depend on. So I definitely want to give him a shout out today.
oh yeah, for sure.
Well, quick little Tulane spill. But like I said, man, we're gonna be talking that yeah, and us talking that yeah. I told y'all we was gonna bring somebody on to talk that yeah with us. So without further ado, we're gonna introduce our first ever guest on the Talking That Yeah podcast, Chef Raneisha Conerly, out of Mississippi, the home state. And I got love for my Mississippi people, so I had to come on here and bring somebody from the great state of Mississippi in first. She is a graduate of Alcorn State University, where she was with the Sounds of Dynamite marching band. She participated in many different organizations. She was a member of the NAACP, Beta Beta Beta, and also PHA. She's a chef and has been doing cooking for a long time. It's something that she's very passionate about. She's a current mother of 9, which is very, very impressive as well. And most importantly, she was recently featured on season 22 of the famous Hell's Kitchen ran by Gordon Ramsay. So just want to shout her out right quick, man. Like I said, she went to the Alcorn State University, was a part of the Sounds of Dynamite marching band, and this is our guest star for today. So let's bring her on. Hello, hello, hello. How you doing?
Yeah,
Everybody. How y'all doing?
We doing good. Can't complain. Definitely want to thank you for being on here with us today. Being on here, being ready to talk that. Yeah, you ready to talk that? Yeah, today.
Man, let's talk that. Yeah, I'm honored to be here. Like, I'm so, first of all, personal shout out to you because, like, I know Alcorn is a connection for you because Alcorn is how I connected to you because your mother stayed across the hall from me. So you were actually like our baby out there, Nick. So I got to say that first of all. Let me just tell the world that this precious young man, I'm very proud of him. Like, to see him from like seeing his mom do what she had to do with him while we were going to class to see this now. So blessings to you, sweetheart. Thank y'all for having me though. Seriously.
Of
Just want
course.
to thank you.
Yeah.
It's a true blessing to see somebody from the great state of Mississippi doing something so tremendous in an industry that not a lot of people know about. You know, prior to coming on the show, we were talking about Hell's Kitchen, which has been on for so X amount of seasons, and you was
Mhm.
talking about how a lot of people have been reaching out to you because they just now seeing the show, which is great. But it's great for us to have somebody of your status to be on this show from a different background other than sports.
Mhm.
So
Well,
first and foremost,
oh,
um, on the show you talked about the importance of your grandmother. You talked about how dear she is to your heart, and this is an image of her grandmother right here. And her grandmother actually got her into cooking. Is that right?
that's correct.
And you just talked about how important she was, how she helped, shape who you are as a person. So that's my first initial question: is what exact role did your grandmother play in who you are today?
Well, first off, my grandmother had 10 children, right? My mother is one of them. And she was, well known in our county as far as for her culinary skills, right? She had two successful businesses. They were pretty much restaurants, you know how we had the little shacks as we call them. But yeah, she had two businesses, and everybody always knew her for her culinary skills. Like I said, like for us, it was the growing up watching her, because my grandmother really wasn't the instructor type. Like she can cook, she don't really do much with recipes, but if you want to get it, you got to sit there and watch her. So a lot of my childhood was just like watching her make biscuits from scratch and like cakes. She could take some wild game like a squirrel or something, and that'll be like the best thing you ever ate that day. So as far as her impact on me, it was pretty much in my DNA, because even though her 10 children didn't do anything culinary wise, they all could still cook. Like the boys can bake and the girls can cook, which is crazy. Like she had 5 boys, 5 girls, right?
Mm.
But all the boys can like bake really well, and the girls can cook, which they can bake too. But it's just, so it's that balance. So it's like, man, all these people, and y'all come from this, and nobody did anything with it. So it resonated with me, and it was like, okay, show who I am, because it's in my DNA. And I love a food, honey. Like even out there at Alcorn, like I would be cooking in my room. Like most people would have certain gadgets in their dorm rooms. Me, I had like rice cookers and crock pots and electric skillets and stuff like that. But I was a biology major, you feel me? So it's just always been there, and it come from that lady you just posted on the screen. Like it comes from her.
Most definitely, most definitely. I know she was dear to your heart, and it's just a blessing to see how that generation of her instilling that into you all, you picked it up and ran with it and doing the things you doing in today's society, man. That's truly big time. My second question going forward, on the show you talked about your sister, and you talked about how you unfortunately lost her to COVID. We're very, very sorry to hear that. But also you talked about how much of a blessing it is that you were able to pick up her 3 kids along with your 6. And first and foremost, I just want to give a shout out to you because as a mother of 6 already, to be able to pick up 3 more and keep doing the thing that you're doing, that's a real true blessing. It's an inspiration to really just be there for your family, and also don't make any excuses. Something happened to your sister, you picked up the ball and you kept on going. So my question is, what is something that you want them to see when they look at you from a motherly aspect?
um Never be afraid to take risks. Never be afraid to sacrifice. Everything is a sacrifice. And I will explain that situation. It wasn't so much, and I love the way they spin it, the way they edit it. But the thing is, it's like I didn't like just, all of a sudden I got 9 children in the house. It was more so they're getting older and she's gone. So those graduations and proms and that type of stuff, like she's gone, but now you have me. You see what I'm saying? Or, 2 of them are off at college now. So it's like anytime you need something, hey, send a cash out request. Y'all don't speak or nothing like that. Y'all just send a cash out request. So, it's like it's like that, but still in all, if I did have to put them in my household, I still would. So that's why I say it's taking the risk and sacrificing, because a lot of times you got to realize in this life, you're going to do a lot of things where it's going to be above yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like that's even, if it's just helping your fellow man, like you still gonna sacrifice yourself. Like you sacrifice your time, like y'all sacrificing time right now. You know what I'm saying? You could be doing something else. You could be talking to somebody else, but you're sacrificing. You see what I'm saying? Hey, I'm interested in this. We ain't talking about sports today. We're gonna talk about some food. We're gonna talk about a local celebrity, I guess you would say. So for me, yeah, to give to them, sacrifice. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there.
Most definitely. Most definitely. Speaking of episode one, you also talked about how much of an opportunity it was with you coming from Foxworth, Mississippi, and the reality of how hard work can help your dreams come true. I'm a true testament to understanding that because I'm also from Mississippi. But I don't want to touch on that. I want you to touch on that as far as, how much of an inspiration this is being from the state of Mississippi, and doing something that you love to do on a national spotlight.
Again, that ties in with what I just said. It was the sacrifice. Think about where we come from. Like who would ever thought that? Yeah, I'm on my porch, y'all. So look, this is real as it gets, country girl. Who would have ever thought that, coming out of Mississippi, that you would get on a show like that, and a lot of people didn't know that it was one before me. She came from Carthage, a black woman. She was on season 12. Her name is Keisha Zalakafa. So
Okay.
she was actually my inspiration, because it's like, she from where? You know what I'm saying? And she doing what I want to do. Like, wow, so to be able to get that opportunity is like I said, it's awesome, because the first thing they asked me in my audition was, "Oh, we didn't know they had fine dining in Mississippi." I mean, what you mean? This is like the birthplace of food. Birthplace. It's a lot. It's the birthplace of a lot that we don't get credit for. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people would be surprised how much. I mean, what do you think? Our ancestors were serving to their owners. You know what I'm saying? That was fine dining. Y'all got nice smorgasbords and spreads and all that, buffets, and who you thought did that? They didn't
Right.
go to school for that. They didn't have some Auguste Escoffier or somebody like that with the fine French cuisine. Showing what they didn't have that. They did that on their own. So I said all that to say, why wouldn't you think we didn't have fine dining down here? We had to serve some of the finest of dining to some of the wealthiest people at one point in time. Like, who did you think was cooking that food? And again, none of them had formal training. So for me to have formal training, but also have that DNA come from those, servant type people. You feel what I'm saying? Because like my grandmother, that's how she got started. Her, you know, mother before her, and so on and so forth. Like what they call, they were kitchen wenches. You see what I'm saying? So it's in our DNA. So why wouldn't now I have the opportunity to be formally trained and work with somebody who's also training me to showcase myself? So like to me, it's just we being seen. Mississippi got something to say. That's the best way I can say it. Like, I mean, I know this is a sports show, but we do produce more than sports around here and music. We got a lot going on in this state. Just give us a chance.
Hey, 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 I gotta applaud that one because that's something I've been adamant about my whole life. Just going to different levels and getting to places outside of Mississippi, you can see how everybody has this stereotypical mindset when it comes to Mississippi, or what they think Mississippi is and what they think of the people that come out of Mississippi. It's been many times where I've told somebody myself I'm from Mississippi, and they be like, "You from Mississippi? Like, do you
Right.
guys is it country there? Is it bears and horses and cattle?" I'm like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
there, but it's also more to Mississippi and the state of Mississippi than just what the common eye sees or thinks, especially if you haven't been there. So that's another reason why I was so excited when the opportunity came for us to have you on the show, so you can talk about, yeah, we got a lot brewing in Mississippi other than just the trees and the cornbread and the hogs and the horses, man. It's a lot more there.
Right. That's how I felt about making the show. Like the show y'all is we're more than country. Everybody think that we're country. Like they just think just period. Like we probably just deep fry everything or barbecue everything and that's it. You know what I'm saying? As soon as we go to talking, it's like, oh, listen at your voice, listen at your accent. But it's like we far from slow. You know what I'm saying? And we very so far away from not being cultured. How about that? It's a lot of culture in these states. There's a lot of cultured people. You know what I'm saying? So that was really like my whole premise for mosquitoes, it's Mississippi. That was my whole premise for, being me. Like, this is what I was, this is what y'all see on TV. This is what I'm giving, authentic me, country girl. Like, I know how to act in public, but at the same time, I'm me, so.
I really just want to touch into how did you feel when you were given the opportunity to be featured on the show? Because you talked about the interview process. So take me through that moment when you find out, like, hey, Chef Raneisha Conerly is going out to LA to be on this show. Like, describe the emotions that you felt when you got that confirmation.
At first, when I first got the phone call, like the initial round of audition, I thought it was fake. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
really did. Like, I thought it was a spam call. It was a California number, and I'm like, okay. They was like, are you still interested in applying for Hell's Kitchen? So I'm like, yeah, but who are you? So it's like that initial phone call was like, all right, I don't know. Then when I got the Zoom link and it was like, okay, we're gonna do your initial audition, it was like, okay, I don't know. This might be, this might be real, and it was like you just start getting, a series of emails and other phone calls, and you're like, I don't know, these people putting a lot of time in for this to be a scam until that life changing Zoom when I met with the executive producers of Hell's Kitchen, like, and it was like, wait a minute, I googled your name, that's you. Oh, like, I remember seeing your name in the credits. Oh wait, that's you. So like that was the moment when it just was like, oh man, this is real. Like but the whole time I was going into it, I was manifesting anyway. I had already told people, I said, look, I'm gonna meet Gordon Ramsay. And they was like, what? I'm like, I'm gonna meet Gordon Ramsay. I'm like, okay, boom. Let's rewind back to September 2017. I drove all the way to Atlanta. Probably had like 2 nickels in my pocket. All we really had was gas money and my food. I auditioned for MasterChef. I probably didn't get to the second round. Like, it was like, yeah, like an emphatic no, like, hell no. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it was like, okay, but at the same time, I'm like, no, don't get discouraged because this is just one of his shows.
Right.
So I'm like, y'all, I'm gonna meet Gordon Ramsay. I'm gonna meet Gordon Ramsay. I'm gonna meet Gordon Ramsay. So it was like, I knew, I was like, they gonna like me. They gonna pick me. They gonna pick me. I don't know if it's the Mississippi thing, but they gonna pick me. And here I am. Red, you know what I'm saying? Like, I made the show and I worked with Gordon Ramsay, and Gordon Ramsay ate my food. And as y'all can see, y'all been following. He never told me it was nasty. It's just my style is different from theirs. Like,
Right.
I can cook and it's gonna taste good, but the plates that thinking out the box and making zucchini rainbows and stuff like that, like, yeah, no, I really just did that so I can get out of culinary school. So, that's not something that I do in my daily life. Have the tweezers and the microgreens, and we're not doing that. But your food gonna be delicious, and you gonna enjoy it.
Yeah.
You're gonna know it came from Chef Raneisha Conerly.
You gonna know, like, you gonna know it because the flavor is gonna be there.
Most definitely. Hey, that's all that matters. At the end of the day, I'm a big dude. I'm a big dude. So, hey, the flavor, that's all I really worry about. I'm not worried about the presentation, but how it tastes,
Nah, yeah, for sure.
that's what it's about.
As long as it's cooked right and it tastes good. That's my motto. Like, that's it. If it ain't burnt, undercooked, or something like that, as long as it's cooked correctly and it tastes good, there you go.
No, yeah, I had a question. Like, how was it like working with the team on a show? It's a lot of egos in the room. Everybody think they're the best, and everybody come from different parts of the country. So how was that like working with the team?
Well, first, when you're a realist, you understand the process, right? Okay, this is 17 other strangers. We've never met each other before, like, not even each other's social media, never heard of the other one. So, for one, it's like you're getting to know people who are like completely opposite from you. Like, this is 17 different other people, you know what I'm saying? So that in a sense there was just like, wow, like everybody's so different, everybody's so creative, like, okay, so now I got to focus because it's a competition, of course you want to make friendships and get to know people, maybe possibly partner off in the future, do some business, but at the same time, why you're there.
Mhm.
So it was really kind of hard to tiptoe that line where it's like, I want to be like super cool with you, but at the same time, we might have to
Competition.
cut each other off, yeah, like I might have to send you home because one of us got to go home, so
Yeah.
I think that was the most challenging part is trying to stay balanced where it's like, I don't want to get too close.
Yeah.
At the same time, I don't want to, and that's why, a lot of episodes you see, like, yeah, I'm not like super confrontational like that, but I'm like, hey, I don't know you. So I don't have to spare your feelings, you
Yeah.
messed up, and let me tell you about it, but when it's just different, when people and you're a little closer to them, you have a different rapport with people. So you may come to different, like, man, you messed up, right?
Yeah.
But with people you don't know, you like, look, hold up, you did XYZ, and yeah, tonight you sucked on service. It is what it is. Like, I don't know you, and when we leave here, I don't have to see you again. So
No, that was the funny part. When y'all when he told y'all to go in the back and pick two people, and y'all was just like telling each other how bad y'all did. Like, I think this person, I think that person. Like, nah. Oh, like,
but I tell you, that's the most brutal part of the
yeah,
show. Like, even talking to the boys, they're like, but you got to do it.
yeah,
It's like, well, yeah, you messed up on fish tonight. Well, you messed up on apps, but it's like, I didn't mess up as bad as you did. Like,
yeah.
it's, and at the end of the day, a lot of times the person that you're voting off, like, you literally sleep right next to them. Like, the
Mhm.
way our dorms were set up, it's like you literally sleeping next to this person. And it's like, how do you look at them the next day that, yeah, both of y'all survived, but you like, oh, that's how you feel, huh? So oh, okay. So now I see how to handle you now, So
Yeah.
yeah, that probably was like, probably one of the most challenging parts, like when we have to vote against each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of that first initial dish, Gordon Ramsay gave you a 3 out of 5 rating on your initial shrimp and grits,
Mm-hmm.
and you could tell by your mannerisms when he told you that it wasn't like, you didn't get down on yourself, you didn't really look uh, like he killed your ego. It was like, okay, like how I'm gonna make this better. Like, okay, I can see you processing everything. Like, okay, you want me to do this? You want me to fix this? Okay, it's gonna be done. It's gonna be uh, perfect when I bring it back. And so my first question is, what made you go for such a Southern classic with shrimp and grits? Because that's a true taste of the South right there. And then my second question is to just describe your attitude, because that's one of the things I want the viewers to really see about you is your attitude wasn't like, oh, I've been cooking for so long. He's not from the South, so he doesn't know how shrimp and grit's supposed to be. It was more so, okay, this is the professional, he's the chef, he is the top notch. I want to be where he's gonna be. So it's like more of, okay, I'm gonna get back, I'm gonna make these corrections. So take us through that right quick.
Um, well, that process, well, for one, that's one of my staples, right? That's one of my signature dishes. So that's why I chose to present that to him. As far as when he judged it, you're absolutely right. He's a professional, so it's the way he wanted it. Okay, us from the South, us grits eaters, we like our grits like right there in the middle. We don't want them too soft. We don't want them hard. So if we eating them with the protein, with the meat, we want to have that texture together.
Right.
English people, Scottish people, they're more akin to porridges and stuff like that. So they need theirs cooked a little more soft, almost smooth, and so it was just really his palate. But for him to say, oh, the flavors there,
Yeah.
the grits are slightly undercooked. Like, one thing about Chef Gordon, you have to listen to him. Like, he has a lot of undertones. So it was like, well, the flavor's undeniable. Okay, he's not saying it's nasty. Um, well, the grits are slightly undercooked. Oh, you don't like them the southern way. They still got a little more, they got to, a little firmness for you. Okay, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I was processing it like that. Okay. I'm like, okay, Raneisha, he not saying your stuff nasty. He didn't say you couldn't cook.
Right.
It's just his standards, he would do it this way, or he'll do a little more, So that's why everything was always like, oh, okay, well, this what you want. This is how so that's why y'all see me episode to episode, like, oh, okay, well, this what you want. Okay, I may mess up, but I see what he want now. You see what I'm saying? Like, and really it's one of those, you're cooking under pressure, even making your signature dish. Like those 45 minutes really feel like 45 seconds. Because once you prepped and then you in there with like 8 other people and you bumping around and, everybody's trying to share space and, so it's like them 45 minutes are getting ate up. Right. But at the same time, it's like every situation is high pressure, high pressure, high pressure, high pressure. You see what I'm saying? So it's like you can't really think under pressure. And a lot of us, majority of us who were on that show, we had never had a high pace, fast pace, like cook competitively. Like, yeah, we're used to banging out tickets and we're used to, banging out orders, but we're not used to like your culinary idol standing here in your face. And then the other one is your sous chef. And then you got 8 other people standing here with you, watching you doing what you're doing, and you competing with them. So you don't want to mess up. Like nobody's ever cooked under that type of pressure before. So to y'all, it'll look like, oh man, how can you send out raw meat? Or, how could you mess up on this when it's like, you ain't realized we've been sitting here filming for like hours at this point, and we're just rolling with it because these are real customers we're over here looking at, and we probably just came off of a challenge. So we slick dog tired, but we got to bang this service out, or y'all ain't seeing or hearing where he's over there like, hurry the up and da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? And you like, oh, okay, all right, you're done. So that's why y'all notice when we send dishes up to the pass, we literally staring at him like, and he'll be like, service, please. He's like, yes. You know what I'm saying? But he don't want to see you do that, So you just like inside, you like, yes. But you keep on cooking. Okay. All right. All right. All right. So if you've never been in that situation before, you really couldn't tell someone what you would do or how you would do it because you've never had that much pressure on you before. And then you got somebody telling you a time to cook something that he knows that you can have it completed in that time. Like if he say, okay, 2 strip, 2 halibut, 2 salmon, 10 minutes to the pass. Heard, chef. That means in 10 minutes, you have 2 steaks, 2 salmon, 2 halibuts, and all that's supposed to be cooked in 10 minutes, and he know it can be. That's pressure.
That is a lot of pressure. That is a lot of pressure.
So, that's just to, explain to the viewers and to, people like y'all who actually watch it. If you've never been in that kind of pressure, like you've played football, so it is pressure. Like you gotta get to that quarterback. You gotta stop that ball, you know what I'm saying? Or stop that receiver before they, sprint out on you. That's pressure.
Yeah.
Same pressure. Pressure is pressure. You like, oh, I gotta do this right. Because if I don't do this right, we gonna lose.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Same here. We gonna lose. Either we gonna win or we gonna lose. That's it.
So speaking of that pressure, how important do you feel that having that ideology and that ability to improvise and adapt and also take positive criticism or at times take negative criticism, how do you say that helps you out, helps develop you, and help plays a role in life?
Well, I'm glad you asked me that. I'll start with the negative first because, of course, we're in the troll age. The opinionated fake book people, where they have the fake pages and all that, so I would say it's really taught me to be a better person, like to look at myself. And I'm not going to say the way they're portraying me because that's me being me. It's just I'm learning now from seeing a lot of those negative comments. A lot of people just can't take certain people, and that's fine. A lot of people aren't adults enough to understand, hey, sometimes you're going to use choice words. Hey, sometimes you'll get angry. I'm sure one of your teammates messed up a play that probably caused a lot of yards or probably got some kind of penalty that, like, man, why we got 15 yards just because you want to do something like this in his face or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and I bet you was like snapping like, man, bloop, 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 bloop. But you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that don't mean you like, hey, I'm finna go beat this man up or something like that. You just like, dude, you just caused us like 15 yards, you know, like that. So for me, it's like that. It was like, okay, so y'all see me go off on a teammate. So y'all see me go off on a fellow competitor. That offended y'all that bad, you know, or y'all seen me make one mistake or two mistakes or whatever. Oh, now I'm just such trash because I sent up 2 raw steaks when y'all don't understand that that's like hours of footage that was cut down into the minutes. So to y'all, it looked like, oh, why she kept messing that up when no, that was like literally different situations. It's just he was mad, so it was like, yeah, y'all just get out of my kitchen. It is what it is. But for you to sit there and criticize me like that, well, for me, I'm like, well, hey, call me country dumb. But it's like, man, y'all realize strangers are discussing me. It's like millions of people watching me, and they never knew who I was until September the 28th when that show premiered. Like, I'm over the moon with it. Like, even like I mean, good or bad publicity is still publicity. So that's why I start with the negative first. Like, it's still like I'm grateful. Like, do you know these people didn't know who I was when we was even filming this last year? You know what I'm saying? So with the positive, it's things like this. It's, you know, speaking with you guys, and I'm looking at my phone and my planner going off, and I'm like, okay, 5:45, I gotta do sound check because we got Hell's Kitchen live. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's amazing. So it's like at this point in life, good or bad, I'm happy with it. You know what I'm saying? And I'll tell anybody that, like, don't ever live your life for nobody else. Live your life for you. I have children. I don't even live my life for my children. I live my life for me because you know why? Whenever it's all said and done for me, my children gonna still have their own life. And I don't want to be one of those parents sitting around, well, I had to do this and I had to sacrifice this for them. And no. If I'm gonna sacrifice, I'm sacrificing for the greater good of everybody, like even generations behind me. You see what I'm saying? That's the point I'm making. Like, you know, even with the positive and the negative, I take it all, like, because I need all of that. The negative is gonna make me a better me. You know, the positive is gonna make me a better me. Either way it go, I'm gonna be me.
Always be you. Always.
No, you're just looking at the show. I know he brought in like celebrities and stuff, and I was wondering like, who did you cook for, or who was the most famous person you've cooked for?
Let's see, without giving anything away. So far, I'm not even gonna lie. It you know, a lot of them in there, it wasn't much to them, but it meant the world to me. Fancy from the Jamie Foxx show, Garcia Bouvet.
Mm-hmm.
Man, to see Fancy walk in that restaurant, I was like, oh, I see why Jamie Foxx was in love with her episode after episode. She is gorgeous. You know what I'm saying? And to have her sons as her dates, and it was just like they were excited because they were big fans of the show. And it's like, you know, them looking at you and interacting like, oh man, you know, we're actually here for a taping. And so I would honestly say Garcelle, and then next I guess I would say Paula Abdul.
Okay.
Cause I mean that's the Laker girl. So
Yeah.
I mean, you know, straight up now tell me, you know what I'm saying? Like we was over there fangirling big time with her. I wish they would have showed it on the episode last week. She had us over there dancing and everything. Like I was like, look, stay up at night watching Video Soul and MTV jams to watch your stuff, ma'am. And she was like, oh my God, y'all made me feel so old. We was like, no, you know, we're, you know, it's just life. But I guess I would say number 3 would be Ivan Drago. I know that's his character name on Rocky, but Dolph Lundgren, that's his name. My bad. I don't really know him like that. I just remember I'll break you, you know. So, and that's what I looked at as soon as he walked in. We was like, I'll break you, and he started laughing. We was like, say it. And he said it. We was like, oh like, like he's standing here looking all, you know, like literally looking like Drago. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, I'll break you. And he said it with no problem. He was like, oh my God, it's the coolest thing ever. Like, if you're not a Rocky fan, you don't even understand what's going on right here. Like, we beefing with that man. He killed Apollo Creed. What you mean? So, like, to see him, we like, But yeah, those are probably my top three right now,
For
honestly.
sure. For sure.
Throughout the show, we talked about it earlier. You had a lot of instances where you had to step up, and really show that elderly approach in the kitchen because things got hectic. But you all always see that one black lady in the back say, this how we gonna do it. Then we're gonna straighten up. This how it is." So just kind of speak on how important that is to have those qualities to be able to command the room with your presence and also not be afraid to say something that may offend somebody but ultimately get the ultimate goal, which is your team winning, because you didn't mean any harm when you used to get on the people, but it's like, okay, this is something that we're all trying to accomplish, and my success depends on you all doing your efforts and doing your parts. So just take us through a little bit of those moments.
Well, it's important to have, I guess, yeah, motherhood. So you started off like the older qualities, the big sis vibe, because for one, I was one of the oldest members on the team. I think it was like, matter of fact, it was Claudia, then Sandra, then me, as far as age wise, right? Because like, yeah, Claudia was in her 40s. Um, but it's just because you have some people that's childish, and your attitude, your mannerisms, your work ethic, like our survival and success is contingent upon what you do. So if you got all our lives in your hands and you playing with us, yeah, I'm about to say something, because at the end of the day, that's how I raise my children. Accountability. You know what I'm saying? Be accountable. Like if you messed up, you messed up. That's why if y'all notice every episode, I'm like, okay, if I made a mistake, hey, look, I'll take my charge. I did XYZ. Okay, true, I messed up, but I picked it back up. I made it right. You see what I'm saying? Because everybody's entitled to a mistake. Nobody's perfect. So that's just good to have because like I said, sum it all up. Some people are just childish. Some people are irresponsible. So somebody has to be the responsible one and, you know, judge and jury, I guess. Like if you can't take your charge, we'll help you. We'll hand it down to you.
So right now, I guess right as of right now, like what do you currently do? Do you have your own like restaurant? Do you have like your own restaurants or like yeah?
No, right
No.
now I'm working on it. That's one of my
Okay.
secrets.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
But right now I'm still in the private chef caterer sector. So, booking for any events, like it's holiday season. So a lot of people are having luncheons and parties and special meetings, or, we're about to start getting into wedding season. So right now I'm still like that's the section that I love right now. Like the restaurant business is hard. You know what I'm saying? And especially like in the economy that we have right now, like you got to be on top because everybody don't have money like that these days. You know what I'm saying? So it's tough out here. So right now I'm just still in the private chef caterer sector, booking jobs. That's all.
Okay.
So with that being said, unfortunately, you didn't win on Hell's Kitchen, but like you said, you were able to take the experience of, okay, first going to Atlanta and not being able to even be on the show, to making it onto Hell's Kitchen and not winning, but also gaining that knowledge, gaining that experience of actually being face to face with Gordon Ramsay, taking his tips, taking his advice. And now you're saying, you're back at home still trying to really pave out exactly the way that you're going to go with your professional chef career. Just take
Mhm.
us through the level of determination that it takes to, okay, not be there yet, not be there yet. But you're also progressing each along the way. But it also takes a level of maturity to know that, okay, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm sure I'm on the way.
You really just hit it on the head with the whole question, like literally. You're not where you want to be, but you know that giving up is not an option. You know that's not something that you want to do. So for me, you gotta want it more than you want to breathe. Sometimes, like that's how I feel about dreams and goals. You know what I'm saying? Like if that's all you think about, is that's all you're working towards, like that's the level of determination. Like prime example, you can't just go put some cleats on and just go run up and down the turf and say you play football.
Right.
Or just put your hands on a football, like, all right, I'm a football player now. So you got to work at it. That's number one. as for me, I know, Mississippi, the vision that I have is going to take a while for people to actually catch on to,
Right.
which is having, that private chef and eventually having a staffing service where, a lot of people can have a private chef. A lot of people's just really, they haven't caught on to that yet. You see what I'm saying? Because you got to think about it. Mississippi was still getting out of that help area. So they wasn't really bringing a lot of people into their homes anymore because it's like, we don't want you to feel like the help, even though you work for us. But, you get where I'm going with that. So it's like right now you got to get people back into the thought process of, hey, y'all are busy, pay somebody to prepare some good home cooked meals and you ain't got to worry about it. Or, basically have it where all you got to do is warm it up, So, that's what I'm getting back into because I did have a few families I was cooking for on the coast when I was, living down that way. But like I said, until everybody really gets on that wave, it's a process and I'm gonna keep working at it. So that's my level of determination. Like, don't stop until I have to stop. And that's pretty much when, God blows my candle out. So yeah, I don't see myself stopping no time soon.
I love it. I love it. You had any more questions, Larry?
Nah, she pretty much hit the questions I asked. She kind of went on and hit all the other questions I had. So you didn't hit everything. You didn't hit
I did
everything.
read y'all questions before, so I was hitting them with y'all. I was ready.
Yep. You're prepared, which is good.
Yeah, and I got them down here. That's what if you saw me kept looking down, I was my phone kept going to sleep. Hold on, so I'm gonna be like I'm doing the face ID. So I was just like, yeah,
So now we're gonna throw a curveball at you.
okay.
We'll throw a curveball at you, and we're gonna go to our next segment, which is talking that yeah picks of the week, college football edition. And the way this works is I'm gonna put two teams on that will be playing this upcoming Saturday. You pick who you think gonna win. You don't have to have any knowledge of the team whatsoever. Well, you just make your pick. You make your choice. We fought through these. So you ready?
Cause hold on, don't talk about if I don't know nothing about no team. I'm not one of those females that just watch a few clips of ESPN and try to impress the boys. Baby,
Okay.
we do
So,
football.
so you know
So
about
first
the
off,
football. Okay.
No,
yes,
but
we do football. What's up? What we doing?
let's do it. So
Okay.
first up, we got number 25, Kansas State playing number 7, Texas. Kansas State is coming off a huge win against Houston, and Texas is coming off a so-so win against BYU. So we're gonna ask our celebrity guest to make her decision first.
I'm gonna go with Kansas State because I'm a believer in upsets.
Mm.
You can have a number 17 up against a number 25 team, but that number 17 gonna play like they feel like they number 7. But that 25 team gonna play like, hey, we trying to not be 25. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Kansas State. I feel like they're gonna give them a go.
I think I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna go with Kansas State. The Wildcats played phenomenally well against Houston. Texas struggled a little bit with BYU. They got a quarterback play that's really unknown right now with their starting quarterbacks being hurt. And I'm gonna agree and go with Kansas State.
I can't agree with y'all, man. I'm from Texas, so I gotta rock out with Texas. I know the quarterback's hurt right now, but they still trying to make that push for the college football playoffs. So I'm gonna rock with Texas.
Okay.
Next up, we have Texas A&M Aggies playing number 11, University of Ole Miss. I'm gonna go with Ole Miss, obviously, not only because I'm from Mississippi, but Ole Miss been playing at a different level, and I don't see the Aggies coming into town and beating them. I'm going with Ole Miss.
And being that now you informed it's a home game, that intensifies my decision. Like, Ole Miss has really been playing like they got something to prove. So I think I'm gonna pick Ole Miss, and of course, hey, Mississippi, and I got lots of friends who hotty toddy. So
All right. I know I'm gonna contradict myself a little bit. I know I'm saying from Texas, but I'm gonna roll with Ole Miss on this one. Roll with Ole Miss on this one. Just gotta keep it real sometime.
yeah.
We talking it, yeah. Next up, we have number 12, Notre Dame playing Clemson. Clemson is 4-4 on the year, haven't been doing that well, but I'm going to take them with the upset versus Notre Dame.
No, this not one I'm gonna really do the upset on right now. No, I'm gonna go with Notre Dame. No.
I'm gonna agree with you. I'm going Notre Dame. I don't think Clemson is that good this year. So
Mm-mm.
We have Arkansas and Florida. Florida coming off a bad loss to Georgia. Arkansas played Bama pretty well up until the last couple minutes. I'm going with Arkansas, despite them being 2-6. I feel like they're a great team, been in a lot of games. I'm gonna go with Arkansas beating Florida this weekend.
I'm gonna agree with Arkansas as well. Yeah, I saw how they played Bama, so yeah, I'm gonna take Arkansas.
I'm gonna take Arkansas. So they've lost some close games. So I think I think their record don't really describe how good they really are. So
Right.
Next up, we have UTSA, which is coming off a win. I don't know who they played, but they came out. They definitely come off a win. I know that for a fact. And then we have North Texas, who played a close game against Tulane last week, and they come out and have a through the wire game versus Memphis, where they lose by a field goal. In this one, I'm gonna go with North Texas. I think North Texas beats UTSA, despite UTSA being undefeated in conference play. I just feel like they finally get over that hump and get a win.
I'm gonna pick North Texas because I'm gonna be biased right now. I have some relatives that graduated from there. Actually, one of them played for North Texas. So, and those are my first cousins. So, I'm about to be biased right now and go with North Texas.
I think this is gonna be a really good game. North Texas has a really good offense, but I'm gonna go with UTSA. They've been playing well during the conference play, so I think they're gonna continue to do that.
Next up, we have number 14, Missouri Tigers, who I think only have lost one game, going up against the Georgia Bulldogs. And before you make your picks, I just want to say last year, Georgia ended up, handling their business versus Missouri, but Missouri did make it a game early last year up in Athens. This year, I see Georgia getting the win in a close game.
I see Georgia getting the win just because it's Georgia. Just being honest. It's just the best
Um,
way I can put it. Like it's because it's Georgia.
yeah, honestly, I mean Georgia. I just feel like the way they run the ball. I mean, they just kind of do whatever they want to do. Honestly, against everyone. So I'm gonna rock with Georgia.
Next, we have number 10, Oklahoma, who suffered a loss yesterday to Kansas. Um, Crazy loss to Kansas. And we have Oklahoma State, who has been having an ideal season. I'm going to go with Oklahoma shaking back and getting a win versus Oklahoma State.
I'll agree with Oklahoma.
Yeah, I'm going with Oklahoma. I think they're gonna shake back from the loss last week. I don't know if they're gonna have a chance in the college football playoffs, but they're a one loss team now, so I think they'll bounce back. It's gonna be a game they have to bounce back for, and it's a rivalry game.
Next up, we have our alma mater, Tulane, who is number 21 now, actually.
Yeah.
And they will be playing East Carolina, who is 1-7. I don't really like East Carolina Pirates, and I love the Wave. I'm going with Tulane by 30.
Well, I mean, I have some cousins that graduated from Tulane. Since this is a Tulane show, we're gonna go with Tulane.
Yeah. I know we're going with Tulane. ECU. I think last time we played there for their homecoming, it's going to be the homecoming again. I think we owe them a little something. So
Next, we have Houston and Baylor. I think both teams are 3-5 on the year. I'm gonna go with the Houston Cougars getting the win. They got beat pretty bad last night. I think they bounce back and get a conference win versus Baylor. Baylor hasn't been doing anything this year.
I'm gonna pick Baylor just because I just feel like Baylor might surprise us. So
Okay.
I'm gonna pick Baylor. They had a loss against Iowa State last week. But it wasn't nearly as bad as Houston. Houston scored 0 points last week, so I'm gonna go with Baylor.
Okay.
oh.
Next matchup, we have two former AAC rivals, now Big 12 rivals, UCF and Cincinnati. I watched UCF play the past 2 weeks. They lost to Oklahoma, lost a close game to West Virginia. I think that they beat Cincinnati, especially Cincinnati beating them last year. I say that UCF takes it home this week.
I think I'll go with UCF as well because I watched that Oklahoma game. So yeah,
I'm gonna have to agree with y'all. I'll go UCF on this one.
Let's take it out to the West Coast. We got number 5 Washington playing number 24 USC. I'm gonna go with USC. I'm a, I was thinking Washington. I'm gonna go with USC, and Larry is gonna give the reasoning behind me going with USC. It just makes sense.
Okay, yeah. So me and Nick, we talked about this earlier today, man. We was talking about this game. I just think Michael Penix, he's probably the front runner for Heisman this year. And I feel like it's gonna be a personal game for Caleb Williams, and I feel like it's probably gonna be a shootout. And I think this Caleb Williams is gonna come out on top on this one. To try to
I'm gonna pick Washington because I watched that game against Oregon.
Yeah, they did play Oregon well, but USC they gonna try to take away they dreams, the Washington dreams from being in the college football playoff. This is a big game.
But look at the way they was playing UCLA last week. Like they was like pew pew pew.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like that game was a bunch of run it up for me. So I want to see some defense. So
yeah,
I'm gonna go with Washington.
So
second to last, we have number 13 LSU playing number 8 Alabama. I just don't see LSU rolling into Bryant-Denny with their defense and beating Alabama. I'm going with Alabama and Nick Saban roll tide in Bryant-Denny.
Well, first of all, number 91, shout out to Jaheim Otis, my godson. On that line, roll. That's why you see I giggled when I saw. I'm like, oh, Alabama, honey, don't even roll tide. Go ahead, sir.
I'm gonna go with LSU. I don't got no reason, but I'm gonna go with LSU. I just got a feeling that LSU is gonna beat Alabama.
Okay. Well,
because I felt like you just want to go against the grain and be the on the other side for some reason.
We can't all agree all the time. You gotta have a little controversial. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you can't possibly think. I agree with Nick. You can't possibly think that people gonna roll off in that hole like that, and really,
we're gonna see. It's college football. It's college football.
It's Nick Saban.
It's possible.
All right, let's go to our last one. I think the most important so far. You got Southern going to the reservation to play against the Alcorn State Braves. You know me from the great state of Mississippi, even though I'm a Louisiana resident, I got to go with the Braves getting the dub on the reservation. Picking Alcorn State to beat Southern this weekend.
Go ahead, sir.
We already know where you're going with. I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna go Alcorn State.
Go ahead, sir.
I'm gonna go Alcorn State this week to beat Southern.
Hey, do you say always or do you say always?
Always.
Always Alcorn, sweetheart, not Alcorn. Thank you.
How you say it?
Alcorn, baby.
Alcorn. Okay.
So I'm guessing with that, our celebrity guest is picking her Braves to win this weekend.
Absolutely. Alcorn by 50. Go on, get them people some biscuits with that 50 piece what they about to go eat up. Yeah.
And so that was our segment of Talking That Yeah Picks of the Week. And now we're going to jump real quickly into our last segment of the night, which is our motivation of the week. And my quote this week is, "You are not perfect, yet you are a work of art. Embrace imperfection." And I just decided to pick this quote because a lot of times people, the human nature has a person where their mindset is, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to be perfect, I got to live up to these standards, without knowing that you are individually made. You are naturally going to be imperfect compared to others because you are you. So this week, I just want everybody to embrace being you, embrace your imperfections, embrace who you are as a person, because that perfectly makes you you. So that's my motivation of the week.
Okay, and mine is every day starts with an expectation, but every day ends with some experience. This is life, so enjoy every day. We all have our plans of what we're gonna do, but sometimes things don't go as planned, which is our expectation, but we always gain experience throughout the every day. And it says right there, this is life, so just enjoy it. So that's how I feel.
You got any motivation of the week for our viewers?
Yeah, I always remember everything in life comes with sacrifice. If you're not willing to sacrifice whatever you have to sacrifice to chase your dreams, it's not worth chasing your dreams. So always sacrifice and don't be afraid to take risk.
Definitely. And everybody, I want to thank you guys for tuning in to episode 4. It was amazing. I really enjoyed our time on the show. Big thanks and big applause to Chef Raneisha Conerly for joining us tonight.
Yeah.
Definitely want to thank you for being a part of our show. It definitely means the most to us. And when we blow up, we always can go back and say that you are our first special guest. So definitely want to thank you.
I'm so grateful to have to have y'all ask me, to be invited. I enjoyed y'all. This was awesome. Like it's so dope. I'm a firm believer in representation matters, and this is a beautiful look right now. So I'm really, really proud. I'm honored. I'm overjoyed. I'm grateful.
So yeah, without further ado, that's gonna close us out for episode 4 of Talking That Yeah podcast. Be sure to continue to tune in. Follow us on all the socials at Talking That Yeah. Be sure to go to YouTube at Talking That Yeah and watch all 3 episodes. This episode will be uploaded this week. I want y'all to have a blessed week. I want y'all to keep being y'all and keep talking that yeah.
Peace, family.